What's going on, guys? We're over here at Unique Dye House. I'm with Junior.
What's up, merch fam?
We're about to take a whole tour of this dye house, you know, see from start to finish what happens in the garment dyeing industry, see how your clothes start and see where they end up. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be very insightful. I really can't wait to go in here.
It's gonna be a very interesting process because I know they got plenty of garments out there where they have color waves you can't even get just the regular fabrics. So we're gonna get very in depth on what they got going on inside. Nick, what's up?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, boss man?
Good, man.
All right, so we're here with Junior. He runs Unique Dyes. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Just trying to deal with the heat, you know what I'm saying? We're in that time.
What was your intro into this industry? How'd you get here?
It was actually making chemicals for this industry.
Oh, wow.
That's how everything started, you know? Started playing with chemicals to develop, you know, some certain dyes, certain wash, and then I will come to dye houses to test our product, you know, and that's how I end up, you know, doing this, you know what I'm saying? Because I fell in love with the process. I think you gotta be unique to do a lot of this stuff. You gotta put your own, you know, mind to work, and that's how I pretty much end up doing this, you know?
What was that turning point when you were working at the spot that made the chemicals for the dye house? What was that turning point when you're like, you know what, I can partake in this industry?
I noticed that if I do things on my own, I'll be able to do, you know, free my mind. Is if I work with a company, I had to do, you know, what they wanted me to do. So I decided to just be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna start this on my own, and took the chance, you know?
How long have you been in this warehouse specifically?
We have 2 facilities. This warehouse has been here for 20 years plus. You know, we've been in the game since denim, you know, was the strongest thing out here in LA. So we've been here probably 20 years plus, yeah, in this location.
So you're really familiar, you know, with like the LA culture, what the people want, like you're really tapped into the trends out here.
Well, we are literally 10 minutes from the fashion district. So a lot of people that come from other states to work on fashion, they end up on this street, you know, because they know there's a lot of factories out here. This is a perfect spot, you know.
Are there any notable brands that you work with?
Old brands have been J brand. We do a lot of stuff for Tilly's. We do Sumi, tie-dyes, Mike Amiri, Gallery Department, Made Worn, a lot of rock bands, Live Nation. You know, a lot of distressed shirts that you see in concerts. We do a lot of that stuff, you know, so that's the customers that we work for, yeah.
What is all done here? Like, what are all the different types of like washes, dyes? You do distressing as well here,
everything, right? So we can do from any garment dye, from polyester fabric, 100% cotton. We can do coating. I'm gonna show you guys coating. There's something popping right now that started about 20 years ago, and for some reason, it's coming back just like tie-dyes. It's coming back strong. It's like a water repellent, kind of leather looking into the fabric. We do pigment dyes, reactive dyes, polyester dyes, you know, tie-dyes, obviously, vintage wash. I mean, pretty much everything that's out there, we can make it happen.
You start with the PFD. That's the very beginning of everything. Everything starts with the PFD shirt. PFD stands for Prepare for Dye. It's a white shirt, basically. Tell us a little more about that.
Pretty much, it all depends on the customer. You know, some of the customers bring their own blanks. Some of them we provide the blanks, but it all depends on the budget, you know what I'm saying? But we use a lot of gilding. Most of the stuff that we dyed is gilding, but then we do have customers that they bring their own blanks. They make 100% cotton blanks made in America.
What do you look for in a good PFD shirt? What tells you, oh, this is gonna dye well? Because, you know, dye can be inconsistent sometimes, and it's not even the warehouse's fault. It's just, it could be the blank's fault, right?
The blend, if you have polyester, we know it's gonna be a nightmare. I'm being honest, if you have 100%, yeah, if you have 100% cotton, you know for a fact it's gonna be a good deal. But as soon as we see polyester on a blank, I mean, we work with it, but we know it's gonna be a challenge. Yeah. You know, because we won't have consistency, especially with these blanks that are made everywhere. We'll have some paneling, you know, some different shades. There's something that we can control. It's just the blank, you know, that's the nature of the blank, you know.
Along with like the threads, right? The thread has to be 100% cotton too, or else that might not dye properly.
I mean, on the thread, we're not so concerned, and I'm gonna be honest with you, because we can always do a union dye. So, you know what I'm saying? You don't have the white threads popping out. Union dye is always good. Pigment dye always covers the thread, so, you know, we don't have a problem with that, you know what I'm saying? Just having that polyester on the fabric, again, that turns into a challenge, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's more pricey.
Is that with all dyes across the board, or it's just like specific dyes where the polyester doesn't work?
If you're trying to do reactive dye and you have polyester, most likely the garment is just not gonna look right. In order for you to cover the polyester, you gotta do either union dye, that will be cotton and polyester, or you gotta do pigment dye. That will be best bet to do polyester, you know, to cover the polyester on the garment.
Okay, so we go from the PFD shirt. Where does this go next?
Next step, we have to wait. Every single garment, we wait because we have to create a formula. It's just like a cake, it's just like anything else, it takes a formula. So we bring the garment, we look for the Pantone, and based on that, we have to get a number to combine the colors to create the formula for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole step, man. It's not just about grabbing it and throwing the machine. We have to weight every single garment to get a weight and create a formula for it in order to go to the next step. So your cost can be done by weight or per piece. It all depends how the customer wants to work, but the price will be good. You know, some customers want to do price per weight, and some customers want to do by by bulk, you know, by pieces. So it all depends on the customer's, you know, needs.
Which one's usually the more cost effective?
Per piece.
By piece?
Yeah, definitely. Because remember, sometimes you can bring me something that weighs like 20 pounds, you know, so the price is not, but again, we're open for everybody. You know, that some brands come with like 10 pieces and some brands come with like 20,000 pieces. So, you know, we open for everybody, you know what I'm saying?
So there's no minimum?
There's no minimum. New brands, they will come with a development. They will come with like 10 pieces. If it hits, they'll bring me more. We don't shut the doors to nobody. That's how Mike Amiri started. I want to say it. He used to bring samples, like 10 samples a week, and he just blew up.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. That's a massive brand now.
Right. Did they stumble across you or?
Yeah, well, the people that I used to work for, they used to do the samples for them. And like I said, it was 10 pieces, 20 pieces at a time. So we saw that transition, and I saw that in a lot of brands, how they started from 10 pieces to now do thousands of pieces. So I'll tell everybody, don't give up, man, because this is good, you know, if you stay on it, you know.
What's like the craziest order you've had to do? Like the biggest ask, you know, the fastest turnaround?
150,000 shirts for Harley Davidson. It was a mineral wash.
Damn. How fast did you turn that around?
We worked on it for about 2 to 3 months.
Wow. That's like every machine, huh?
Yeah.
Just running.
Since it was such a big order, they gave us a chance to turn in by batches. So they'll bring a batch, you know, turn it in, and then work on the next batch. You know, obviously there was too many pallets of blanks. So they gave us that chance to work by small quantities, but it took us about 3 months to finish them up.
All right, so weigh the fabric, weigh the garments, everything gets weighed, and then that gets taken over to where?
Every machine is designated for different process, because once you use a machine for pigment dye, you can use that machine for regular garment dye, because the pigment is based off of oil. So it contaminates the machine so bad that you can't use it for any other process but just pigment dye. So we have machines designated for every step. As you can see, we're working on a blue one right now. That's a reactive dye. Right now we're on the process of doing a reactive dye. Reactive dye, what is good about it is that it can work under certain temperatures and it prevents your fabric from shrinking. So polyester dye is one of the things that you have to worry about your shrinkage process. On reactive dye, we're secure that the garments won't shrink that much. So right now we're working on some reactive dye, some shirts that we're making for a customer, and this is pretty much a step. Throw in the blanks, we mix the dye, give it its own time, because everything goes by time, and it's on.
Does temperature play a process with the dye making?
Big time. It's supposed to be about 450. And this is something that you deal with. People ask me, you bring some fresh shoes? Hey, this is the dye house world, you know what I'm saying? And believe me, people will love it, man.
So basically, this is a reactive dye process. Reactive dye is best for when you want minimal shrinkage in the shirt. What is the base that's used for the react? It's just dye?
Just pretty much dye and salt. I'll show you a room where we keep our dyes and we keep our weights and our formulas. So this is the lab. This is where all the colors get created. This is where all the formulas get created. We work with Pantheons. As you can see, every color, there's a formula for every single color, every single shade. You know, so a lot of customers, they come here, and guess what? If they want this color, we have a formula for it already. It's ready to go. Unless we're trying to make something new, then, you know, but we have colors. I mean, trust me, we all understand this notes, you know, you guys probably see it like, you know, but we understand the notes, you know what I'm saying? So we have, all the formulas are here. For polyester fabric, you know, we have it all, you know, from tie-dyes, and this is just something we keep reference of different stuff.
This is so sick. Wait, let me see this. So what type of dye is this?
That's a tie-dye, a bamboo dye, that's what we call it.
Actually never seen something like this before.
So with the dye like this, on large batches, is it pretty easy to keep the same consistency?
You know what? This is the beauty of tie-dye. Every tie-dye is different. You have, you know, like the look, but every piece is unique, and that's why the unique dyes come. Every garment is not the same. So this is where we keep all the colors, you know, pigments, powders. We keep everything here. We follow Pantheon. We do the formulas and then pretty much write it down. We go out there based on the weight and ready to roll.
How often do you guys have to come up with a new formula? I mean, you have like a massive archive right here. Is it often where someone comes in with something you haven't seen, or have you basically seen everything at this
So we do lab depths for customers. Some customers are really exclusive with their colors. If they see a color is similar to what they're looking for, if they don't approve our formula, then we do a lab depth. You know, a lab depth will be matching 100% the color. I'm gonna be honest with you, we don't see it much now because we have so many colors and most of the customers go by the colors that we have, but we do our open for lab depths, so that way we create the color that you want.
So basically when it comes to colors, the possibilities are endless.
I mean, as you can see, there's books and books everywhere of colors. All those books have formulas.
Wow.
So the chances are we will have the color that you're looking for.
If you want something unique, they got it. All right, so the colors get mixed, matched, formula is written. where do we go next?
I'll show you guys what's next. We also provide softener process. What is a softener process? A lot of brands, when they send the garments they get printed, they want to get rid of that look, you know, the new look. They bring it out to us, and we give it a soft wash to kind of give it that used look on it. You know what I'm saying? So this is already a water with softener. We give it a rinse, so now that print won't feel new. You know, it kind of cracks the ink.
It kind of like wears it in a little bit.
Yes.
Is this all reactive dye in here, or are there any other methods that are used?
No, we do many dyes. As a matter of fact, I want to show you guys how the coating gets done. Well, we got more process going on in here. So this is called fixative. This process is essential so the garments can absorb the dye. Without this chemical, the dye will not stay on the fabric. So this is a critical step on every garment dye in order for the garment to absorb the dye. That's exactly the step that we're doing now, adding the fixative to the garment, you know?
So that's what this machine does. This is only for adding the fixative.
It's actually a machine that does everything.
Oh, wow.
This is just one step out of the whole process.
How much weight can this machine run?
500 pounds. If you talk about 4 garments per pound, just do the math, you know? And every machine has a different weight. So we have from 500 pounders to 50 pounders to 250 pounders. We got sample makers.
Is this the biggest one?
This is the biggest one here, but in the other location, we have a 700 and 800 pounders.
What's going on here? This is hot. This looks really hot.
So the machine is getting a wash because in order for us to jump into the next process, we have to clean the machines 100%. We have to clean them in order to jump into the next step.
You're rinsing out the machine, basically. This machine's getting washed out.
Boiling hot water.
Is there a specific temperature that it has to hit?
We have never sit and measured, but trust me, it's pretty hot.
It's hot.
In order to prevent any contamination for our next garment, you know, that what's gonna go in next. Let me get a garment so I can show you the coating process. So again, a lot of people calls it the water repellent. A lot of people calls it the leather look, but we call it coating because it's pretty much the coating for the boats, for the wood, introduced into a garment, and it gives you this shiny look.
Oh.
Get that.
You've seen that before. So this is used on boats and wood, you said?
So the boats, we apply it on the wood so the salt and water doesn't affect the wood.
Wow.
On the decks and all that. Someone came up with the idea of doing it in garments, and that's how we created this look, that leather look, you know? A lot of people, like I say, call it water repellent. A lot of people calls it a leather look. For us, it's just a coating, you know what I'm saying? Just a surface that will cover the fabric and gives it this shiny look.
So this is more of like a lengthy process because, I mean, you only got 2 here, so you got to do them one by one.
So this process, this is done one by one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no machine that makes this, you know, like a robot. This is done piece by piece. He'll show you guys the step how to do one by one.
You mentioned water repellent, like it truly does, like if you were to pour water on it, it'll just run off?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Right?
So it's just pressing
With heat to activate the coating, yeah.
The coating is on the top layer, or the coating's already sprayed on and you're just heating it up? Oh, okay.
Looks before.
This is pre-pressed. Before the heat gets put on, the coating is sprayed onto the garment right here, and then they press it, and basically that gives it that kind of sheen. So before it's pressed, it's kind of like a rough touch. It feels like it's been sprayed. After it gets pressed, it feels exactly how it looks. It's shiny, it's smooth, it feels like it's waterproof. This is insane.
And I'll show you guys where you get sprayed. Before we turn the garments, everything comes to the dryer. You know, that's the last step of it. The garments come from the extractor. As they're doing now, I already show you guys the step, but look, they're extracting all the water out of the garment. It goes in the extractor. That machine just spins, just like the machines you have at home, and takes out all the water, you know, so that way it can go to the next step. That's exactly what they're doing right now. They're loading up the machine to take out all the extra water or the excess water from the garments, and then ready to go into the dryer. This is how they end up when they come out of the extractor already.
Still a little damp, but a lot better than just being soaked in water.
Then from here, again, it goes to the dryers. Make sure once it gets to here, we'll make sure we fold everything, separate by size.
Yep.
So the print houses or whatever, they easy access to the garments, because if we don't fold them, I know it's gonna be a big problem when it gets to the print, you know, because it's the wrinkles and all that. So we tried all of our garments to return them folded, you know, and separated by size. So it makes the next man, you know, the job easier, you know. So I'll show you guys a step about the potassium spraying. You know, if you guys don't know, that gives you the vintage look on garments. We're gonna spray a garment for you guys. This is some of the garments that we do with potassium.
Wow.
So kind of gives you that leather look. You see this, the coating?
There's the coating.
Yeah.
Coating, how long does it usually last in washing?
I'm gonna be honest with you, there's been garments with the label care, you know, that's essential, right?
Yeah.
You know, just like any other garment, special care will be a must. And if you keep it like that, trust me, you'll have a garment that look the same for forever.
So they're potassium spraying. This is just a layer that goes over it. Is there anything that's like happening to the dye when it gets sprayed on?
Potassium is pretty much similar to bleach. It's not bleach, obviously. What it does, it kind of takes up the color of the garment. So it gives you that vintage look. You know what I'm saying? So if that garment was kind of like that cream color, as you can see, when you spray the potassium, automatically turns faded. So it gives you that fade effect. And it all depends on what you're spraying. But as you can see, that customer requested that faded look up here, like the natural look. That's exactly what the guys are doing now. You know, they're spraying to give you the sun fade look on it. Yeah. And that's how potassium helps you, you know, make a brand new shirt, make it old, you know, make it look vintage.
And so that's all called out too. Like they provide you a tech pack, says exactly where they want it sprayed. Yeah. Do you accept the client, like if they don't have that direction?
Definitely, because we have samples ourselves that they can kind of, you know, guide themselves or have an idea, and they'll ask me, oh, can you make something similar? Yeah. I never duplicate anything, so if they come and they see something, I really don't go by, I want the exact piece, but we can do something similar to it. Because remember, a lot of our customers put their designs, their mind into a garment, and we don't want nobody else to come and be like, oh, I want this exact same piece. So you gotta be unique, you know, you gotta make your own stuff, and we always help them out. So this is the end of it. From here, it goes to get neutralized, get rinsed, and this will look, I think we have a piece ready to go.
This is after it's been neutralized. Yes. Neutralizing it, I'm guessing, just stops it.
It stops the process. Yes. So this is actually how it looks in the beginning, right here.
Okay. So what's going on here? This is just the dyed hoodie.
It's a dyed hoodie.
Yep.
This effect is we did it first in order to create that wrinkle look effect in it. After that, we spray the potassium all over, and it will end up just like this one.
Final product right here.
Possibilities and the ideas with potassium are endless. You can do shapes, you can do patterns, you can do names, you can do a lot of stuff with potassium. You know, if you use placements, we can spray it and transfer it to a garment that, trust me, it makes it look really nice. This one looks like it's been worn.
This looks like so worn. This looks like I left it in my back seat of my car and the sun's just been frying it.
So that's what potassium does.
Can you recall the craziest design somebody had you put potassium on?
If you ask me, the unique designs, Moji has some of the nicest designs, and they have really unique designs. We're always excited to work with those brands. They have some crazy ideas, you know, because it makes us obviously, you know, put our minds to work, you know? Creating something and being out there and seeing someone having it on or something, or in a concert, trust me, you know.
Nothing better.
Yeah, you know, it came from us.
Is anything else done in here?
Potassium and coating and pigment spray. That's exactly what we do in this room. You know, we have distractors, obviously, to take out the fumes from these guys, and pretty much that's all we do here.
It gets done there, and then it gets
neutralized in order for the potassium just to stop working.
And where does that get done? That's just in a washing machine?
It goes back to a washing machine, gets neutralized, and ends up, you know, again, the whole cycle, extracting, dryer, folding, and ready to go to a customer.
I'm seeing some like distressing here. Do you guys also distress as well?
Yes, we do all that distressing. We do all that grinding, hose, everything that can make it give you that vintage look. I have an orange shirt right here. It all depends on the customer's ideas. You know, they show us a picture, and as you can see, we did a lot of potassium on this sleeve, so kind of give you that contrast, and all that grinding and hose, and just kind of, that's exactly what the customer's looking for. You know, we make it happen.
Once it's all said and done, gets thrown in these dryers right here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Gets dried one last time, folded, bagged up, ready to ship out, ready to go.
That's it, you know, and then the next step, either if it comes already with the print, it pretty much will go to packaging, but if it doesn't have a print, then it goes, you know, to get print.
What's the average turnaround? Someone comes in with a dye order, say it's like 100 units. What would the average turnaround for that be?
Again, it all depends on the process. You know, if it's a pigment dye or reactive dye, it could be done really fast, but now if it's a tie dye, the process, it takes a little longer, but usually 2 to 3 days turnaround for garment dye or pigment dye.
Wow. Do you guys often get garments print first, or are they mostly, you know, without the print and then the print gets added on after? What's the purpose of like doing the print first?
We do have a lot of customers that they already bring the garments with printing.
Yeah.
So we can just do the soft wash that I showed you guys. So it kind of gives you like a different look. I want to say like 20% of our customers come just for a soft wash.
And does that kind of like break up the print? You know how a Money Merch shirt is printed, right? It's in a high quality print, top of the line. They look amazing. If you bring it here for the soft wash, that'll kind of like break down the print, you would say?
Yes, that's the whole purpose of it, yes.
Is there an example?
Right here.
It kind of looks more like it's like in the garment, you know?
Yeah.
So now you don't feel that print.
You feel it a lot less.
So that's the purpose of soft wash.
Do you get a lot more soft wash requests?
For the past year, 2 years, the vintage wash has been something that has been trending a lot, you know, especially the potassium spray, you know, it has been something that this past 2 years is just moving a lot.
I'm new to the game and I'm looking to get into garment dyes. Are there any pieces of advice or anything I need to be like prepared for?
One thing I tell everybody, don't go for cheap blanks if you're starting your own brand. Invest a little bit more, but get good quality blanks because remember, that's gonna be your name in it. If you buy a blank that is low quality, you know, your customers, they're gonna throw it on, they're not gonna feel comfortable with it, and then guess what? They're not gonna buy it. So if you invest a little bit more, you know, buy better quality and it will turn out good. And don't give up because I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of brands, they started with like 20, 30 pieces, and I'm telling you now they're just worldwide. So
someone comes in, they're ready to get going. What do they need? You know, what do they need to be successful coming to the dye house, right? Like what do you have to be prepared for?
first, consistency, have your mind right on what you want. You know, obviously your ideas, make sure you come with a clear mind. A lot of people want to start their own brand and they don't have ideas, but they just kind of, you know, they want to start a brand. So we can always help, you know, by showing what we have done in the past and kind of inspired from that, you know. So, hey, we're here to help.
All right, well, I mean, I think we covered it all.
I think that's it, you know, so again, we're out here. If you guys need any help, we can always help out, you know, just bring your ideas and we'll just let your mind free, you know, just come and explore, you know, the garment industry is so big that some people might not like your ideas, but guess what? Some other people might love them, so just do it, you know, just make it happen.
I love that. Well, I thank you so much, Junior, for bringing us over.
Thank you guys for stopping by.
Now that wraps up our tour of Unique Dye House. It was very insightful. Really took a deep dive into everything that goes on behind the scenes of how to truly get that wash that exactly what you envision, you know, and they have a lot of detail and attention to care that they bring to it. So it was great to look at that.
No, it's definitely dope to see all the different varieties that there is to offer. It's a lot that I didn't even know. I thought dyeing was just simple, turn a white to a red. I didn't know potassium was involved. I never knew about the wax film. So it was definitely a lot of free game that they just gave out today.
Super insightful video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you want to see next. We're going to everything. Dye houses, factories, blank companies, whatever you want to see, we're doing it. Let us know where to go and we're there. Thank you guys so much.